Hello, in this video we will understand about the leptin hormone physiology. This is the second video. If you want to learn from the first video, you can learn. I will give the link in the description below, or you can search with the name of Umar Farooq. So, the leptin is a protein manufactured by fat cells that is involved in the control of body weight and appetite as well as the adipose tissue like fat. The regulation of body fat and feeding behavior regard to amount of fat stored in the body. So, stored in the body, the fat stored in the body will be regulate and prevent the obesity. How it is possible? Let's begin to understand. This is the person. Let's begin to understand first the digestive system. This is the esophagus, and this is the liver, stomach, a duodenum, as well as the small intestine and large intestines. So whenever you will eat food due to the hungry, due to the ghrelin spike, will lead to ghrelin will be decreased due to the intake of food. So when food intake, ingestion will occur after mastication, grinding by teeth. The digestion will occur in the stomach while the amylase produced from the saliva to digest carbohydrates partially. The ghrelin will decrease due to the digestion, will give the signal to the brain to satiety, and the absorption will occur into the blood circulatory system will lead to rise the content hyperglycemia, hypercholesteremia, and hyperproteinemia will occur. In this way, the hyperglycemia, hypercholesteremia, and hyperproteinemia will lead to target the cell into the through GLUT channel will lead to assimilation. It will be part of the cells, and in this way it can be used as energy in the form of glycolysis and electron transport chain. And on the other hand, it can be store mean that in the form of glycogen or adipose tissue. Let's understand about the adipose tissue storage. After the storage into the adipose tissue give response to produce leptin. When leptin will be rise, it will be change the physiology of the body. So how it is possible? Let's begin to understand. The leptin responsive neurons due to the adipose tissue will give the signal to the brain, will lead to increase the sympathetic nervous system by increase the cocaine and amphetamine related transcript CART and alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone, the alpha MSH, which that will lead to trigger the sympathetic nervous system and the melanocortin and the CART and CART receptor of neurons, which that will lead to preganglionic neuron go to the brain side, and it will target to the muscle through postsynaptic neuron to the muscle for the normal homeostasis of the muscle. The normal homeostasis of the muscle mean the peripheral energy utilization ATP increase and fat oxidation, the beta oxidation can be possible. On the other hand, this adipose tissue will release the leptin during the fasted state, will also use for the beta oxidation to provide the energy to the muscle, so the ATP will be rise. But anyhow, the long-term deficiency of the food and quick absorption of the food will give the response of the leptin. This is the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. So the leptin when rise in the blood circulatory system mean the spike of the leptin will target to the several tissue for regulation of inflammation, bone density formation and homeostasis, as well as decrease the apoptosis and rise the proliferation of the cell. So in this way the leptin when rise continuously will also lead to cause cancer. Acute nucleus is also the targeting for leptin. Leptin also target to the acute nucleus. Acute nucleus will then activate to target to the muscle and the adenohypophysis to release the thyroid stimulating hormone to increase the beta oxidation and the glycolysis, increase the ATP and growth hormone, as well as the gonadotropin releasing hormone stimulation to our reproduction. On the other hand, the neuropeptide Y and agouti related peptide AGRA decrease by leptin. It means the leptin when increased will lead to inhibit because it is the appetite increasing content. Anyhow, let's begin to understand the recent study. What recent study shows that the placenta produces leptin also, not only the adipose tissue. Ovaries produces leptin also. Skeletal muscles produces stomach, pituitary gland, and liver. Whenever the stomach, it is very easy and common sense. When stomach will feel the food, will give the response through leptin to target to the brain for satiety. On the other hand, the leptin circulating levels decrease with fasting and the increase by insulin during the fat state and glucose, estrogen, and transforming to TNF alpha and interleukin 1 and inflammation will basically increase this leptin. So the inflammation, the anti-inflammatory hormone. Anyhow, the some have genetically deficiency of leptin, so that no regulate the normal homeostasis lead to cause obesity. The obesity due to decreased leptin and increased ghrelin. Ghrelin increase continuously will lead to more hunger and require the food eating behavior will lead to increase more and more adipose tissue for the storage because the storage is required due to the hyperglycemia should be isoglycemia, so the excessive glucose will convert into the fat. Let's begin to understand the summarization. This is the adipose tissue white and this is the brown adipose tissue. Let's begin to understand the function of the white and brown adipose tissue. This is the brain. So this is the central metabolic part of the body is the brain. The energy expenditure and the food intake we will understand about how it can be regulated and maintained as a homeostatic effect. For example, whenever you will eat or not eat will lead to decrease or increase leptin on the basis of the food intake, the calories. The leptin responsive neurons in ARC, arcuate nucleus, will lead to give the signal by the sympathetic nervous system activation to produce the norepinephrine during the fasting, while during the and neural and hormonal communication system will also target to the adipose tissue, white adipose tissue, while the epinephrine will target to the brown adipose tissue due to the sympathetic nervous system activation, and the UCP will be increased and the lipid storage will be decreased, and the white adipose tissue will release the leptin to the target brown adipose tissue, and the trans differentiation will occur from the white tissue to the brown tissue, and in this way the brown adipose tissue to produce UCP1 increase will lead to cyclic AMP when increase will lead to increase UCP1, and UCP1 will increase the energy expenditure while the norepinephrine will target it. When leptin will decrease will lead to decrease the energy expenditure while the increase of food intake habit, while the increase of the leptin will target to the brain to increase the energy expenditure via a lipolysis, beta oxidation and the glycolysis, while the food intake activity will be inhibited due to the satiety, and we feel the satiety and we will not eat due to the leptin activity. I hope you make sense about this. This video was about the leptin hormone physiology. And if you like my video, please make sure to subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for this time.